Hey, Shalom, it's your brother Yuatazak. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Shem Rakakwadash. Okay, double honors to the elders at Great Millstone who teach and rule well. Shalom to the elect scattered abroad and here in the Americas. Just kind of wanted to go into some scriptures, things on my mind. Obviously, you see that, a lot is happening in the world, and some conversations that I've had with different people, both in the truth and not. And, generally, the people are worried, man. Ignorance usually puts people at a place of disarray in their mind, confusion. Hell, even if you do know or expected what's going on, it's still unnerving because you just don't know what's going to happen next. You don't know how Esau is going to move. You know the general idea how the Lord is going to move. But I mean, if you would have told me 2 years ago or 3 years ago that it was going to be this type of pestilence that the Lord is going to use to usher, to, kind of help Esau excel at his new world order so that the Lord, can eventually disappoint him, then, I don't know if I would have sided with you. Not to say that it wasn't coming eventually, but this method, it's a little, it was unorthodox to say the least. You see how life can change in an instant. I mean, literally one day, my biggest, not my biggest, but, one of my worries of my life was, my baby mama drama and this, that, and the third. And in a flip of a switch, my entire life changed. My children are here with me because they were previously were exactly at the ground zero of the pandemic, and, lost jobs and money issues and this, that, and the third. And, I just feel as though we ought to be mindful that, things can happen in an instant and the Lord can really kind of spin everything. But it's not for us to be dismayed. It's not for us to be, thrown off our path that the Lord is illuminating for us. But, as a ultimate reminder that we are not in control. All right. However, that, also that our God is omnipotent. OK, and does what he wants. OK, his thoughts are not our thoughts. And so with that, we got to kind of go with the flow and stay steadfast and immovable, however life comes at us, because life comes at you fast, One of the scriptures that gives me a lot of peace in my daily walk, in my ongoing as a man of the Lord, hopeful elect, is, of course, Ephesians 6, all right? Particularly verse 10 going down to 20, and I'll read some and kind of just speak my thoughts on it. Starting at verse 10, it says, "Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and the power of his might." Hey, that's exactly what I was just saying. You have to understand that this is the power of the Most High to be able to change life as we know it in an instant. Okay, to cause mass death, mass pestilence, supply chain breakup, wars amongst nations. This is all the Lord's doing. Verse 11, "Put on the whole armor of Yahweh, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." Because if you really take a look at it, of course, there's your average Joe six-pack Edomite. There's all these different heathen nations scattered throughout the America, making $1 off of the Israelites. Okay, selling us a bunch of poison and this, that, and the third. But to really put the finger on it, we're talking about high level wickedness, man. Okay, reverting back, I always reference Judith 5:20. Where, it gives you a clear distinction. The heathen know what they're doing when they do shit in our neighborhoods to have us go off, because it's part of that suppression in Psalms 83, where they lift up, or they come together and form a tumult against us. All right, because we don't know our God, as a whole, but they do. And they understand our covenant with us. And just because we're ignorant of that covenant doesn't make us any less subject to its consequences. All right. So this is high level wickedness, man. High level magic. Witches and warlocks are literally operating on all phases of the media, internet, entertainment industries. Okay, the food and pharmaceutical industries. Okay, I mean, pharmaceuticals comes from the word pharmakida, which translates to witchcraft or sorcery. You know. Verse 13 says, "Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of Yahweh, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench the fiery darts of the wicked." All right, and these aren't obviously actual garments that we're taking to be able to have have an absolute carnal war. Okay, this is parabolic, or better yet, spiritual. Okay, that's why it's telling you that these pieces of armor represent intangible things. The breastplate of righteousness, the feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace, taking the shield of faith, the helmet of salvation, the sword of the Spirit. These are all intangible things, but mightier than any actual sword could ever be. It says, "Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness." Okay, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. Yeah, because that faith is going to be a shield against the naysayers around you. Okay, your mom, your dad, your brothers, your sisters, your girl, your kids, however it may come. All right, the Lord is going to say, hey, what did it say? For those who serve the Lord, prepare your soul for temptation. Okay, so at the end of the day, you got to understand that once you enter into this army, that's when the battles start. And the battles aren't necessarily fought carnally, not carnally at all, really, but, spiritually. And they can be, with those who are the closest to you. And it's hard. Okay, so that's why you have to have faith, and your faith has to be built up. Hey man, back in the day, they used to have shields made from leather. Okay, well, that's not a very effective sword against powerful weapons. Then they used to, have it made out of wood, and then eventually iron, and then iron turned to, different alloys of iron, shields, steel, and things of that nature. All right, you want to, and I say all that to say that your faith has to be built up to an impenetrable shield, man, so that no matter how strong them darts of the wicked come, all right, you'll be able to deflect them and keep moving forward. Verse 17 says, "And take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of Yahweh." All right. I like to say that, we know what the word is, man. The word is your ultimate weapon, both in using the actual word, the actual Bible itself, and then, of course, Yahweh Shai, man. We fight in a battle spiritually, and when Yahweh Shai gets here, he's going to be that ultimate weapon, man. The ultimate weapon of mass destruction, okay? The sword of the Spirit, if you will. All right, verse 18, "Praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints." Yeah, so, that word supplication is for lack of better terms, it's like to want something, to inquire of something you desire. Okay, so it says, "With all supplication in the Spirit, watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints." All right, so you pray for yourself, you pray for your family, you pray for the hopeful elect. All right, and vice versa, the elect pray for you. All right. And it says, and for me, that utterance may be given unto me, that I may open my mouth boldly to make known the mystery of the gospel, for which I am an ambassador in bonds, that therein I may speak boldly as I ought to speak. Yeah, man, because we are ambassador in bonds. Okay. And so with that, we have to understand that, there are things that make it to where we don't have, you know, a voice necessarily as loud as the rest of the world does, man. There's no, righteous Israelites with a super mega church, nor would we want one. But I'm just saying, we don't got no jets and you know, military might or anything of that nature. All right, if anything, we're in a world that hates us, man. All right, they hated Yahweh Shai, so naturally they're gonna hate us who stand in his place. All right. And so we are ambassadors of the Lord, and we're in bonds, but yet, we pray that we can speak boldly as we ought to speak, both by doing these videos, going out in the highways and the byways, speak boldly when it's apt to speak and teach. Okay. I'm not saying going in the workplace and just start, hey, everybody, Israel, blah, blah, blah. That's not necessarily wise, but, when it is wise that the Lord will, put the unction in you to speak as you ought to speak, man. All right. Let me see. I got a couple other scriptures I want to hit before I close out here. This is First Thessalonians. I'm going to start at 5. It says, ye are all, First Thessalonians 5, and I'll start at 5. It says, ye are all children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness. Therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. For they that sleep, sleep in the night, and they that be drunken are drunken in the night. But let us, who are of the day, be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, for in helmet the hope of salvation. All right? So, there's another 2 more pieces of armor, okay, made for protection. All right, here we go with faith again. Just like the shield of faith need to be built up so that it's impenetrable. Likewise, the breastplate, which holds the vital organs, protects the vital organs, okay? And of course, the helmet, which protects the brain, the head, all right? The hope of salvation. So your mind should be filled, with the hope that we are to be saved. Okay. It says put on as the elect, man. So in your mind, we want to be humble, of course, but, in our mind, as you go through this walk, as you do these works, you should feel like you should be saved, man. You should have a hope about you, the hope of salvation. All right. This is Romans 13. I'm going to start at 11. It says, in that knowing the time, that now is high time to awake out of sleep. For now is our salvation nearer than what we believed. The night is far spent. The day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light. All right. And hey, man, that armor of light is the same armor of the Lord, man. The Lord said that I am the truth, the way, and the light. All right. And, or it's like, I think the truth, the way, and the life, actually. But hey, man, the Lord is the light of the world, so it all rings the same, man. We have to put on this armor in order for us to protect ourselves while we're in these battles. Because, we've all been witness to those who've been in battle and they've been hit, by one or two, this, that, and the third. And then what happened? They just become unraveled, man. They stop fighting. And what happens when you stop fighting in the middle of a battle? Chances are you get killed. All right. This is 2 Corinthians. I believe it's 10. It says, but I beseech you, and I'm going to start at 2. It says, but I beseech you that I may not be bold when I am present with that confidence wherewith I think to be bold against some, which think of us as we walked according to the flesh. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through Yahweh to the pulling down of strongholds, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of Yahweh, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of a Mashiach. All right. And hey, man, there it is again. We're talking about, all right, a spiritual warfare. Okay. And, this isn't a time for us to, get all Jam Master Jay with it and have a militia or army and this, that, and the third, because we're not going to beat Esau using his blessing. All right. Jacob is a spirit, is spiritual. So thus our warfare is going to be spiritual. Okay. Our victory will be spiritual, So with with this weaponry, with the things that we're trying to accomplish, spiritually, therefore we will win the war using the things of the spirit, man. The breastplate of righteousness, the sword of the spirit, the helmet of salvation. Okay, because we are going to find that victory through salvation, and of course the faith, man. All right, you got to have faith to be able to perform these these wondrous battle maneuvers, okay, in the spirit, okay, in order to cast down these imaginations, all right, and everything that exalts itself against the knowledge of the Most High. All right, that's all I wanted to kind of get into. We have to be built up, our armor. Hey, it's like one of those video games, man. Every time you level up, you start adding more weapons and armor to your character, your avatar or whatever. And then he becomes, he levels up, man, to the point where, boss fights become light work to you, And so, we want to build ourselves up to where, when we come up against a real boss fight in the hour of temptation, Jacob's trouble, okay, in the face of all things evil, we stand for righteousness, man, and still be able to swing that sword of the spirit, all right, and be faithful no matter what. Lord willing, this was edifying, brothers stay in the spirit, sisters stay in the spirit. Okay, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders at Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect.